Hello, my name is Zach Thielen, and I'll be talking about the Bauhaus. The Bauhaus was an international design school in Germany. It existed from 1919 to 1933, and had 3 different locations. The Weimar location in top left, Dessau location in top right, and Berlin in bottom. During its 14 years, it had 3 different presidents. The one on the left is Walter Gropius, who basically started the Bauhaus. The one in the middle is Hannes Meyer, who was there for a short time. And the one on the right was Mies van der Rohe, who was there during the end when the Nazi regime took over. They were all architects and all had strong influences on the architectural program. These 2 gentlemen are important to the preliminary course. They created the preliminary course at the Bauhaus, which is similar to ours. Their names Johannes Eaton and Joseph Albers. They had a strong emphasis on materials and composition and sculptural pieces. The educational structure of the Bauhaus is very similar to ours, and the first half year is the preliminary course, in which we are basically in right now for design, and then you get accepted into a more specific materials such as wood, clay, or like color, and then only the best students of the Bauhaus would get accepted into the architectural program, which is different from us. Here's some work done by the preliminary students at the design school. There was a lot of different projects and sculptures made, and this one's a lot similar to our space container, which we're doing now in 102, as we have to manipulate paper, as did they, to create sculptural pieces. This is similar to our preliminary work done for the poster, as they had to create compositions, but they also used grid-like and geometric shapes instead of our, which could have been almost anything. They had a heavy influence on geometric shapes. And these are drawings done for preliminary course at the Bauhaus. Similar to us, they did still lifes and case studies of humans or positions. And as you can see, they use freehand as well, but their emphasis is on geometric shapes once again, even in the human body. During the Bauhaus, there's also emphasis on furniture. That was a strong part of it. This shelf was made by Walter Gropius, and the furniture they wanted to make very sculpturally and very airy and light. And it influences shelves today, which is almost identical to one designed by Walter Gropius right there. The graphic design was also very grid-like and geometric. As you can see, the one on the left uses the words to make grid patterns, and the one on the right uses the strong diagonal lines and the words to make grid-like shapes for graphic design. The interior design is very similar to our interior design now, and using a lot of glass, which the Bauhaus love to use. They use a lot of natural light and open space, and the furniture is also very light and airy, as I said before, what they like to use. And the most important, or some of the most important work done by the Bauhaus was the architecture. And in this drawing done by Adolf Meyers, he uses the balconies to create a structurally sound building, which relates directly to, as you can see in modern times, they use balconies to create just a more sculpturally sound piece of building out of the block. Modern housing, or modular housing, which can be traced back to the Bauhaus. And it's thought to be a more modern idea, but as you can see, the drawing is related directly to each other with large glass panels and boxy housing. The balconies used in hotels and motels that we see all over the world can relate directly to the Bauhaus style building, which Walter Gropius designed, where every room has its individual plateau or balcony, to say. And on Iowa State campus, we also see influences of the Bauhaus with the curtain wall, which is that long strip of window panels without any outside structure interfering. This can also be seen on Howe and Hoover. And I thought a good example of the Bauhaus design was the Parks Library building, because it uses a lot of natural light with the glass and also uses repeated shapes of very geometric, angular, and box-like structure. And as you can see, it's very Bauhaus-esque. And I was just showing, oh, thank you, sorry.
Go ahead, tell us what you were going to say.
I was just going to say these are just examples of the Bauhaus in modern society. But thank you.
Questions, comments? We've got some hands, I guess.
Yeah, Claire?
I think you knew your stuff really well and your timing was pretty much perfect, and you had a lot of good examples and comparisons which really helped us to understand, so I think you did really good.
Thanks. Anne?
Yeah, I like how you had pictures of what could be like modern buildings or things that were coming from the Bauhaus, and then you had a picture right next to it of like what was actually considered like Bauhaus design, so that was really cool.
I think you did a good job showing all the information of like the different things that go on in the Bauhaus, and you had good pictures giving examples of things relating back to Bauhaus design.
Thanks. Jessica?
I really liked how you applied it to like the design core to give us like a feel for what it would be equated to. That's what
Yeah, I think you did a great job. I liked the slides themselves. They had really a nice layout. There were one or two that I wish were the two things you had to put together had been a little more easy to put together, like the drawings there. But other than that, you did a great job with that, particularly with showing us how it applies at Iowa State. Now I have a question. Did you use anything here from that you took, any photos or anything like that?
I took the ones at Iowa State,
Uh-huh.
and there were pictures in books, like the drawing
Mhm.
were in books, so I just took a picture of them, but obviously they were my own like work.
Mhm.
So basically just the last two.
I think that you've probably done a more thorough job than anybody I've seen with this as far as showing how it went into the ISU curriculum. And considering that we have students every year who go through the whole curriculum with, the whole first year curriculum without realizing it has anything to do with the Bauhaus, I was glad to see that. And thank you very much.